What do you get if you win Mr. Olympia?
I got 50 G's last year.
Because if you become a pro right now, it doesn't mean you get money, right?
No. You don't make money off competing, that's for sure.
You only get paid if you win. You only get paid if you place.
Especially being one of the pros and you're going to number you get. They didn't tell you. You don't tell you anything. You don't know what's going to happen.
All right, John De La Rosa, Brandon Corey, Martin Fitzwater, Akeem Williams, and Samson Dowda in this group.
Oh, this is a good one right here. You see how Martin looks?
The biggest event in bodybuilding is the Mr. Olympia. Every bodybuilder will go at any length just to lay their hands on this title.
You just got in the race. Now the real running, the real work really begins.
This is Olympia series, road to the Olympia 4 weeks out, and let's do what we do. I was working full-time, my wife's working full-time, we were both working overtime to substitute this idea of my dream of bodybuilding. You know, we weren't going on holidays, we weren't having this great life, we were just putting everything, investing everything into this career of mine. And to see every time you do a show and it's like you go home empty-handed, it's extremely disheartening.
4 Hunter, 8 Martin, 10 Samson, 12 Andrew, 15 Derek.
For me in 2020, I was like, look, if we don't make it this year and we don't win a show and go to Olympia, this is my last year of competing. I ain't gonna do it again because I can't keep seeing my wife and I struggle to put so much into this and then keep failing at it.
Our numbers are in from our pay-per-view. It's been a good night, guys. And guess what?
They bumped that up.
Second place is going to receive $250,000 tonight.
Second place.
That's second place. First place, $600,000.
The winner goes home with the title and a whooping cash prize of $600,000.
The first place check.
A contest that happens each year.
And new Olympia champion.
My goodness. Oh, Bob.
Samson.
Good job, Samson.
To put this into perspective, that's $600,000 per annum, and these numbers are easily surpassed by average football players. Whilst football remains one of the highest paying sports in the world, training facilities and coaches in every area are provided to the players by the club. Whereas in bodybuilding, everything is on you.
When they say there's no money in pro bodybuilding, that's kind of true.
I got $100,000 for winning each one. You know, look at these guys and look what I had to go through to get it, you know.
It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be disheartening because I know being in that position, you know, I know how much stress and everything it cost me and my family and my wife at the time when we were struggling financially to go show to show. And
it's a lot to go through, and it's not rewarding at all, you know.
You're spending a lot on travel and everything else, and then you're going to show at no place to top 5 and you're going home empty-handed. And we were getting in debt, we were getting stuff from it. And it was challenging, man.
I was renting an apartment. My apartment was $500. I drove kind of a crappy car.
All the shots I had to take and all the food I had to eat, you know, stuff. You have to stuff yourself. If you want to be big, the only way to get big is eat food.
The food, you know, I was eating 6-7 times a day. I was eating upwards to 4 pounds of meat a day pretty consistently. And, you know, it was just every 2 hours like clockwork.
All right, so this is my meal 5. Fish and rice.
I do a ton of fish, like toward the middle, throughout the end of the prep. Normally up to 5 times a day.
So right now I shoot for 5 or 6 portion meals a day.
I mean, the food I had to eat to win that first Olympia, ain't no ordinary person could have done that.
I'd buy a whole cow at a time. I had like 2 freezers in my house. At the time I was eating probably 4 pounds of meat a day, and a lot of it was red meat, but I'd buy 150 pounds of chicken at a time.
I went to a local farm stand and I bought 30 dozen eggs at a time.
And that would be my whole refrigerator. And that's how dedicated I was.
You know, it definitely, I mean, I spent a lot of time in the toilet, let's put it that way, man, you know.
Back then I was probably spending maybe $50,000 a year on food.
You have to eat regardless of whether you're hungry or not, you know.
The magazines told me, you have to eat to grow. And I think that's really what drove me. I wanted to be successful.
Every single dollar a bodybuilder earns from competitions, it all goes back into their body through food, supplements, and gym memberships. Plus, they have to work extremely hard to achieve the best possible physique, and this doesn't come without a cost.
And you know, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything, you know, if you want to be good at it, you know.
On top of that, bodybuilding is one of the deadliest sports. It's not just about sacrificing relationships with friends and families, but also they sacrifice their health.
Obviously, you guys know I tore my bicep 2011. I'm not supposed to move it, so I hate wearing it. But I got to do it for the comeback.
It means to me that he has a broken bone, and most likely the bone fragments have separated. Hairline fractures really can typically heal in about 4 weeks. When you're talking 6 weeks, it's most commonly a broken bone in which the fracture fragments have separated or shifted.
And I remember my body kind of going into almost a stage of shock because I couldn't walk.
Mine was actually a lot worse than that. It was like literally like a little Popeye down here. And this was 6 weeks ago. So it's all like coiled back up and it's starting to attach to the short head.
But I stayed out of the gym. I worked in the therapy, trying to get back, slowly going through the exercises and, doing what the doctors told me to. But most importantly is paying attention to those special details.
Excessive training of the muscles for physical excellence can lead to severe damages. This can be detrimental to your training, ranking, and overall longevity in the sport. After a severe injury, the muscle begins to heal by regenerating muscle fibers. Over time, this scar tissue remodels, but sometimes the muscle tissue never fully regenerates. This is why Heath never won his 8th Mr Olympia title, and Jay Cutler never won his 5th Mr Olympia title.
To some degree, your inability to kind of live up to some of the hype.
You know what? It was a big question mark because I wasn't able to train fully for an amount of time because of the bicep tear. And
these injuries might be scary, but even more lethal are steroids, because there's no way these guys will get this big without taking some dosage of steroid-like substances.
Based on his current size and the side effects that are clearly visible, I do believe he's on high doses. He reminds me of the Tren twins, only this time he's actually taking Tren.
And the side effects to it can vary so greatly depending on the person. You just never know what you're going into.
When I first ever tried taking steroids at the age of 18, I had some serious problems, and I had no control over myself.
You could do one cycle and then your natural testosterone could be dumped for the rest of your life, or you have to be on TRT forever.
I don't think this guy is playing it safe. I could be wrong, but based on the severe acne on the chest, the shoulders, the arms, everywhere, I think he's in danger.
Doctors would be telling me your blood pressure elevated for years. And I'm like, man, look at me, I'm fine.
It can make you infertile. It can lead to more risk of heart disease, increase of cholesterol. It can affect your liver, all your organs. It can be very damaging, especially when abused.
If you have the choice to be natural or do steroids, stay natural. There's no reason to do steroids. You're only hurting your body, you're hurting yourself.
So I definitely recommend anyone at a young age don't even begin to touch it.
I knew his time was numbered because I knew his addiction was heavy.
If you want to become a professional bodybuilder, guess what? You're probably going to have to fucking do them. So you're not going to have a choice. You're going to have to do them. And that's the boat I was in.
Lots of downsides are involved in bodybuilding, yet very few are respected. Many bodybuilders till this day are invincible. Only the best of many are known. It's a sport where in order to make the most amount of money and fame, you have to be the best in the business for years.
I have covered every city in America. I feel that you can have the best product in the world, but if you don't know how to sell it, and if you don't have anybody who can sell it for you or tell the public, it's a waste of time, the whole thing.
A great example is Arnold Schwarzenegger, currently worth over $1 billion, widely known as the Austrian Oak. During his prime, he transformed bodybuilding to what it is now. He wasn't just famous because of bodybuilding, rather, he made bodybuilding even more popular. He was a great bodybuilding salesman. He knew how to sell himself on bodybuilding shows.
I'm pumped up already. A bodybuilder looks at his body as a thing. you know, and he wants to develop this thing, and that's what he's looking at, but never at himself.
During his reign in bodybuilding, literally every movie producer wanted to feature him because of his charisma, charming personality, and obviously his Mars monster physique. This landed him scenes in movies, documentaries, and TV shows.
Through bodybuilding, I did a lot of things, you know. I mean, I got into the films. I did 3 films so far and 1 television film. I have a very successful mail order business, and I'm promoting bodybuilding competitions, and I'm now working on my 2nd book.
His popularity literally grew exponentially from his roles in high-profile action films, and this popularity played a huge part in making him the 38th governor of California from 2003 to 2011.
The whole idea was that we help the people as much as possible in these very terrible times.
From bodybuilding to businessman to actor and finally a politician. This is why he's the richest bodybuilder ever. Not just because of bodybuilding shows, but how he could transform the platform using his physique to generate wealth. Similar case is Ronnie Coleman. During his reign of terror in bodybuilding, winning 8 Mr Olympia titles for 8 consecutive years, he continued to be a police officer in Texas, which took care of his bills, supplements, and diet. He is widely regarded as the greatest bodybuilder of all time for his Olympia wins, and his popularity gave him more sponsorship deals. Now he has his own fitness store.
Hey guys, Ronnie Coleman here, just doing a review of my new product, King Mass XL. It's one of my favorites for off-season training. It does what it says. It helps you put on a lot of mass.
Unlike football, basketball, and baseball, where matches are mostly played on a weekly basis, which means more spectators and a stable income for the players. In bodybuilding, each major event happens once a year. A bodybuilder can partake in about 2 to 3 high-profile competitions per year, plus he has to beat about 20 competitors before going home with a major prize. However, with all the scrutiny surrounding bodybuilding, there is no doubt the sport have truly transformed so many people's lives.
You know, if it wasn't bodybuilding, I'd probably be a motorcycle or cross-country, jumping cars or something, I don't know, something crazy. But
when I got into this journey, you know, I was, you know, a little bit bitter because I didn't make it playing Division I basketball, and I was trying to find another outlet. And bodybuilding taught me how to be strong mentally, physically, and emotionally through all life's challenges.
That's why I'm in this business. It's never been about the money. It's always been about the love of the game.
A lot of young guys coming up. You're gonna go through that. There's no exceptions. You're gonna go through that. And it's gonna be a struggle. And you're gonna be hard on you. It's gonna be hard on your family. It's gonna be hard on your loved ones. You're gonna wanna quit time and time and time again. But you know, if you go what it takes to stick it out, trust me, the reward on the end is worth it.
If you give up on your dreams, what do you have left?